This content is not made for kids.
Cronus Network.
Hello, my name is Gabe, this is my Filmcast, and today we are going to be reviewing Knives Out, a Rian Johnson film. No spoilers. Alright, so I'm on my way to my local theater to see if I can get into the early screening of Knives Out. It's early screening, so I don't know if I'll be able to get in. The seats have been sold out and whatnot, but if I do get in, we'll do a review. I can't wait to see this flick. I mean, it's getting a lot of buzz, a lot of good press. So here, fingers crossed that it's as good as they say it is. Holly, drop some context for us.
I'd love to, Gabe. A detective investigates the death of the patriarch of an eccentric, combative family. It's a classic whodunit mystery. The director and writer of this film is Rian Johnson. It has a fantastic cast, which includes Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc, a private investigator of some renown, Christopher Plummer, who plays an eccentric mystery writer, and the patriarch mentioned in the synopsis. Other notable cast members include, but are not limited to, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, and Chris Evans. You gotta love a flick that features James Bond and Captain America, Gabe. Production budget was set at about $40 million. My guess, the bulk of that was spent on talent. The film is dripping with it.
Is that everything we need to know?
Well, yeah. This is an original film, and as such, there isn't much baggage to unpack. Based on the critical response, I'd say this movie is poised to do well. You will likely enjoy it, Gabe.
It would appear that the knives are indeed coming out. Alright, so my initial reaction to Knives Out is pretty positive. I'm going to go home and cut a review. And yeah, this is one of those that I can't wait to talk about. Very glad I came out to see it tonight. Alright, so I got to go see Knives Out yesterday at an early screening. My theater was packed. People really seem to be enjoying this movie. It's gotten really good reviews, and I mean, there's even Oscar buzz about this film. Rian Johnson, coming off of Star Wars, his name might be a little controversial right now. If you're a Star Wars fan, you may have gathered I am a Star Wars fan. However, I think Rian Johnson is at his best when he's building from the ground up. And I think that he got his opportunity here to shine. And he did a really, really great job. The performances he got out of the actors were really great. The characters he created were interesting. Some of them are a little stereotypical. They're kind of archetypes, but nonetheless, I enjoyed everyone's portrayal here. And the mystery itself was well crafted. It had very good twists and turns. I didn't find it all that difficult to figure out who was the culprit, but then the film would cast doubt on that, and then it would completely confirm one thing, seemingly, by neglecting a few details that later on implicated someone else. It's really, really hard to talk about this movie without giving away the things that you're not supposed to give away about it, because it is a mystery. It's a mystery. It's an Agatha Christie type mystery, and it does a really good job of constructing that. This reminded me of watching Clue, the film Clue. Yes, based on a board game. But that film had kind of like a goofy whodunit type of vibe. There's a little less goofiness here, though it does have its fair share of goofiness. But it is really well constructed. I very much enjoyed it. There were a couple of plot points that I'm not quite sure work ultimately, but I'll have to view it a few more times before I can render final judgment on that. But for now, I'm going to recommend this film. It was a really good time at the movies. People seem to really be enjoying it. I'm going to watch it again, so definitely go out and see Knives Out. Now, let's get into the particulars of this. Okay, so this film opens wide on November 28th. The cast here was spectacular, and the film has solid to fantastic performances. I won't get into the nuances of each thespian, but I will point out some of my favorites. Daniel Craig is delightful, funny, charming. He really steps into that classic detective persona, and he delivers. Christopher Plummer, not surprisingly, was highly likable and stole the show well on screen. Ana de Armas, I admit, I'm not very familiar with her, but she was great in this. Don Johnson was funny, and Jamie Lee Curtis was fierce. This film was perfectly casted. The score, this film is beautifully scored. The cinematography really helped to create the ambiance of the flick. Pacing was on point and kept me engaged. The editing flowed and oriented me well. I very much enjoyed this film, though, as I said, there are a few plot points that I'm not sure work. And this is the kind of film where the narrative needs to be airtight. So I'm curious how I will feel upon repeat viewings. As it stands currently, I have to give this film a 9. It's on my list of favorites for the year for sure. I think I think I'll do a spoiler room supplemental discussion on this flick, so look out for that. This film is a recommend. Definitely check it out if you like mysteries, especially old school detective mysteries. We don't get these kinds of films very often, and it feels really different and fresh right now. I really can't say much more about the flick without the risk of giving something away. So that's gonna do it for now. Holly?
Well, that wraps things up. Thank you for watching Gabe's Filmcast. Let's be film fans together. Help build Cronus Network. Hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this cast with other film fans. Don't forget to come back for the Spoiler Room, Cronus Network's deep dive, spoiler-laden examination of Knives Out.